All right, everyone, good Friday morning and welcome to AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. Got a lot of wild and crazy weather on this first day of April. You know, 26 million people are in the red zone for severe weather today, and we still have 14 million people under flash flood watches right now. I'm sure you've been listening to that rain just dumping on your rooftop this morning. We'll get to that. Let's start with the showers coming up. I-10, I-85. You're all going to feel it by later this evening, moving into the Atlanta area as well. They're heading back over into Charleston and Raleigh and then out to the Outer Banks by tomorrow morning. So we'll be watching your forecast and timing things out for you right through the show today. Let's see what else is happening across the country. Here's Anna Rittis. Good morning,
Jen. Good morning to you at home. We begin in Washington, 2:15.
Well, luckily the temperatures are not going to crash, Anna Rittis, this afternoon, but this is as warm as it's going to be really today. We're not going to have a lot of changes. It's really warm this morning. I'm in Pittsburgh. We've got a warm start to your day with showers in the area. Temperatures are in the 60s right there. Wanted to mention, though, about the Northeast, and in particular Boston, since you were just talking about New England. We are going to be looking at wind watches, high wind watches for tomorrow. Once this front moves through and the winds change direction, they actually get very gusty and concerned about very strong winds. Today, it's still a south wind, and that's why it's still warm out there. Boston 63. And you're learning your weather really good, I have to say. She knows the drill. If you're this warm in the morning, it can't possibly last, can it? All right, well, let's take you through today. You know, especially across western New York into the Midwest, that's where you're feeling the chill coming in. Not chill, but the cooler temperatures by later today. It's going to take till tomorrow to get to the rest of us here all across the Northeast. But let's look at Pittsburgh and time out your temperature drop. So today, 62 degrees. Tomorrow, only 48 degrees for a high temperature, and then we stay below average until Wednesday of next week. Look at some of these lows as well. Lisa, my producer, and I were thinking the same thing. I mean, these lows are very chilly, 26, 27 degrees. The average low is 35 degrees. And I know stuff has really started blooming early. So, you know, if you have some trees and leaves that started popping out, I know it's going to be worried couple of mornings as we get to this cold. Friday, we've got to look at thunderstorms, though, that will affect travel. Some of that rain affecting us in the Northeast. We'll have to keep an eye on that risk for some thunderstorms out there, maybe delaying some travel. Also in the Southeast, really the Mid-Atlantic to the Southeast is where you could have severe weather today. So watching that, the front kind of stuck around through tomorrow, and at least for, I'd say, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Southeast Georgia, the first half of the day at least, we'll be looking at the chance for some showers and storms. Then we kind of focus our attention on Central Florida. Tampa, we've got that thunderstorm risk for you on Saturday. On Sunday, it's going to be down into South Florida for storms, and then you see some snow getting pasted on the map. Most of New England, it's not going to be a big deal kind of snow, but it will be snow nonetheless you'll have out there, and temperatures running well below average, and there will be a wind chill factor. Very, very windy behind this Texas. The hour AMHQ Early continues on this April 1st. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. We got a lot of wild and crazy weather ahead as we start this new month, starting today with double-digit drops in temperatures, and not one but two rounds of snow this weekend. Plus, we still have severe weather and possible tornado. So that has been the calling card with a lot of the storms overnight, has been the very heavy rain, and not to mention the loud thunder and lightning that we've had out there. Severe weather today, risk goes from Southeast Virginia right into Florida, and right into the Florida Panhandle is the area to watch, all the way to Louisiana. So front on the move, out ahead of it is where we are seeing thunderstorms. Today we do have the risk for damaging winds and hail as the main risk, but we also have that risk for tornadoes. It's a 3 out of 10 on the Torcon, which includes much of the Carolinas into Southeast Virginia for today. That's going to be sort of the zone that we watch. Now, the rainfall itself will be an issue. Some of that heavy at times and really affecting drivers on this Friday. We've got dew points that are up. The moisture is certainly the deepest right here along the Gulf Coast. And any of these showers and storms could put down some pretty heavy rain. Just downpours is what we've been dealing with. So we go now to San Antonio, where things have sort of changed for us as well. Got a little disturbance rolling on through. The front kind of waved back across this area. We are going to look for a couple of thunderstorms. I'm watching one out there that earlier was under a severe thunderstorm warning for hail. That was allowed to be dropped, but, you know, still can bring some small hail, maybe just not to severe limits. Also watching the Houston area for showers, non-severe, but thunderstorms out there possible this morning. You can see how they're kind of dotting the landscape right now. So that's happening for us in South Texas. Also just interesting to note, you see that snow over there in New Mexico. Saw some winter weather advisories up there in the Texas Panhandle for snow today. Just what a change. I mean, if you can believe, actually yesterday in South Texas, McAllen, Texas, it was 100 degrees. The first 100-degree day of the year, as far as I can tell. And so now we're looking at the showers and storms out there and that snow that I talked about in the Texas Panhandle. The story for us today in the Southeast is the rain and possible severe weather. Right now, we've got a flash flood warning around the Montgomery area. You can see how the storms are moving out, but it takes a while for any water issues to recede. So still watching that area. No flash flood warnings up for the Atlanta area. area, but we do have some very steady and heavy rain, which is affecting traffic this morning and travel. Roads are wet, a lot of lightning and thunder south of town for early commuters and for folks getting ready to get their kids to school. Now, the flood threat looking at today, the risk for thunderstorms, and that's what's going to be the biggest travel headache. All of the northeast hubs got some weather issues to deal with today. Southeast, big hubs like Atlanta watching your weather as well. New Orleans will see some issues. Houston, of course, hosting basketball this weekend. We've got some weather issues as well. Indy, I will say that your weather is improving for folks traveling in there. We've got the weather on Saturday still hanging out with some showers in parts of the northeast. The southeast around Tampa and Jacksonville, we keep the showers around. I know Jacksonville, you've got your big Spring into the Blues festival going on. A lot of outdoor things, right? Unfortunately, Saturday the wet day, Sunday the better looking day with drier weather coming on in, but cooler temperatures all throughout the eastern half of the country, warming up in the middle.
Zone?
Kind of, but you sort of need that contrast, right? We get that sun angle nice and low.
Okay.
And they're really just cloud shadows is all they are.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's it. They seem so complicated, right?
Do you have more of a chance of seeing them after storms?
I think sometimes with the breaking up of the clouds, you would. But you need like that stratocumulus deck where there's sort of like peaks of clouds and sun because you have to get the chance for the clouds and the sun to make the shadows. So anyway, looking for rainbow chances again today. You have your best chance of seeing rainbows in the morning and at the night because you need that low sun angle, that 42 degrees or whatever it is. We are going to be looking for storms out there, possible severe weather. We saw some storms roll through Georgia last night. There's going to be the risk for more severe weather, especially South Georgia, Florida Panhandle, and then right up into the Carolinas and Southeast Virginia. Hail, damaging winds, and also tornadoes. There are some threes on our Torcons in the Mid-Atlantic today. Looking at the satellite right now, you can see there's a batch of showers across portions of Texas where we have some of the higher cloud tops. Wanted to show the satellite because we need to say happy birthday to weather satellites. T-ROS 1, the first satellite, became available on this date in 1960. So cool, pretty cool, huh? All right, let's take a look at what the satellites are showing us down at the ground. So satellites, picture from space, shows us what the clouds look like from space. The radar is on the ground and shows us where it's raining. It sends out a beam and hits raindrops or hail or anything else and comes back to the radar center and it tells you where that is located. We're seeing the rain out there coming out of parts of Texas, including around Austin and San Antonio. Rain on the radar coming in right along south to central Georgia, moving into the Atlanta area still for the commute. I-20 is going to be wet as well. This rain not moving out all that quick, Atlanta. It's going to get better by the end of the commute, but I think the damage has been done. Everything is saturated across the region. And then we take it up into Raleigh where the rain is not quite here yet. A couple of showers pumping on in, but we've got the rain on I-81 going through Roanoke right now, and there's going to be more today. 81, 95, all going to be wet. Some thunderstorms as well, and some possible severe weather. As we time things out for you, this morning we got the rain, and let's watch the time up here at the top. We get you through, say, 7 o'clock time frame. Showers are starting to press south of the Atlanta metro, starting to move out of Montgomery, but then they come back. So you get about a midday break in a lot of spots, and then the showers come back into the picture. The wave kind of moves up along our front, and we are going to be looking for more showers back into the area right through the evening, so you don't get a completely dry Friday evening here into the south and east. The front is on the move. It just takes some time, and so it really takes until tomorrow to make progress through a good chunk of the southeast. Kind of get stuck here tomorrow across northern and central Florida, and from Jacksonville to Tampa tomorrow you've got that risk of thunderstorms, possible severe weather. We're going to watch for that maybe even tomorrow morning right along the southeastern coast of South Carolina into North Carolina. So watching that here. Now also watching, of course, for some very heavy rain. The rainfall is going to add up to more than a couple of inches. Watching around the Florida Panhandle, some spots that got big rain last weekend. Now we're going to bring another couple of inches on top.
Well, parts of